Hello everybody, this is Ramon with Wild Spirit Wolf Sanctuary, and welcome to the 2018 December edition of the Monthly Howl. December out here in the New Mexican wilderness has been a little rough, and so while it has slowed us down, it certainly hasn't stopped us. This month, the updates that we would like to share with you are related primarily to the health of 4 of our rescues. So the first animal that we want to give you an update on is somebody that we spoke about in our last monthly howl. And if you haven't caught that and you want to know a little bit about the backstory, go ahead and check it out. This animal's name is called Goldie, and she is one of the few dogs that we actually have on property. She lives as a part of a dog pack called NOLA pack. Like we mentioned in the previous monthly howl, NOLA pack has had a bunch of different surgeries on their knees because of their specific upbringing, which we weren't responsible for, that has left them with a constitutional weakness in their joints. And just like the rest of her pack, Goldie did succumb to some serious joint problems. She actually required surgery on both her back knees at the same time just to get her to be able to move around pain-free. The surgery took place about 7 weeks ago, and she was actually given a prescription of about 8 weeks worth of daily physical therapy going on multiple times every single day. We'd like to report that so far the therapy has gone off without a hitch. She is recovering extremely well, and soon she will be back in with NOLA pack living her doggy life. It's thanks to supporters and sponsors like you that are watching this video right now that allow us to give an animal like Goldie the care she needs to continue living her life. Alrighty, so update number 2 is going to be on our high content wolf dog named Draco. A couple months ago we noticed that Draco seemed a little thin. It's hard to actually feel him out because he doesn't really let people pet him or touch him, so we can only mostly do it by sight. However, our visual inspection was telling us that something seemed a little off, and so we thought that he could have been suffering from a hyperthyroid condition where the amount of thyroid hormone goes up instead of down, like hypothyroidism. So we geared up, went ahead and captured Draco, and then took him into the veterinarian in Albuquerque, where they did a full blood workup on him and actually confirmed that he did not have hyperthyroidism or any other glaring issue. It turns out that Mr. Draco just has a very fast metabolism. To learn a little bit more about Draco and get an idea of how tough he is to handle, go ahead and watch one of our videos which you can find on our YouTube page or our Facebook page called Draco Goes for His First Walk, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's pretty intense. Alright, so the third update is on a high content wolf dog or wolf. We're not really sure because it's possible that she was kind of interbred, and so it's difficult to tell exactly what's what. She's actually a part of the Westeros pack, which is sponsored here by George R.R. Martin. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with Game of Thrones, but if you are, Westeros pack is very true to their name. Nonetheless, Nymeria is about 11 to 13 years old. That's also something that we can't really tell with any type of certainty. And we were noticing that something was up with her nasal cavity. We actually thought that she had a really bad fungal infection inside of her sinuses or some sort of bacterial infection. So we went ahead and captured her too, took her into the vet, and had a workup done. It turns out that she does not have a fungal infection or a bacterial infection, but the veterinarian did find some sort of anomaly in her sinuses. What that anomaly is, we don't really know, and the only way to find that out would be through some extensive and very kind of invasive testing. Now, the issue with doing that is that she's already 11 to 13 years old, so regardless of what's done to her, she's probably not going to live many more years. If we did discover what the anomaly was, and if it turns out to be cancer, then she would probably not survive the treatment necessary to get rid of it. So, in the end, it seems like the best decision for her is simply to leave her be, try to make her as comfortable as possible, keep giving her her supplements, keep feeding her well, and hopefully she can live out the rest of her days relatively pain-free. Okay, so the last and final update is going to be on Jon Snow. Jon Snow is another one of these high content wolf dogs or wolf from Westeros pack that we couldn't really identify. He was also somewhere between 11 and 13. And I'm speaking about him in the past tense because Jon Snow passed away in December of 2018. The events that led up to him passing away were us noticing that he looked really weak, that he was lethargic, that he wasn't moving around a lot. He just didn't want to get up and do what wolves naturally want to do. So like with the rest of the animals that we've been talking about, we went ahead and took him into the veterinarian, and they did a blood test on him, discovered that he had immune-mediated hemolytic anemia, which basically means that he just wasn't producing enough red blood cells. And so they gave him a high dose of steroids in order to get his system to jumpstart the production of red blood cells. The therapy did in fact work, and a couple of weeks after receiving the steroids, his red blood cells were going back up again, and things were looking good. Unfortunately, because of his age and because of this constitutional weakness, he went ahead and took a downhill turn for the worse very, very quickly. Within a couple of days of taking this turn for the worse, he went ahead and passed over the Rainbow Bridge and left this world. And he was surrounded by people who cared about him, and he died here on sanctuary property, not at a veterinarian's office. Okay, so thank you for sticking with us through our 4 updates on our 4 rescues, and we're glad that you are interested in what's going on here. If you have any types of questions and concerns, please leave a comment down below or get in contact with us through email at the sanctuary. We'll be happy to answer any of your questions. And with that said, till next time.